Thunder versus Rexar.
Let the hunt begin.
Alone give me strength.
Quickly.
So I missed my 2-drop, but I have a bit of a curve from here. I'd like to pick up some synergy for the Experimenter. And there's a pretty decent card. I've seen Kaliseth, so I know he's just playing a standard Deathrattle list. He played Tracking already, so I'm gonna guess that card is in his deck. Do I ever just play Umbra here? I don't really have a good follow-up to it, so I guess I'll just play a 5-1. I don't really have a read on no Candle Shot because he has been spending all of his mana. But he already wants to Candle Shot this thing this turn, so it's decent, I think. Alright. So definitely going for the Experimenter Voodoo Doll. I could also kill the Devilsaur Egg and another Devilsaur here if I wanted. But I think I'll force him to have the activator and push 5. Seems better. I could bump here, play an Obsidian Statue, it kills the 5/7, and then he just has 2 Devilsaur Eggs in play. Is that good? Takes all the power off his board, I guess. The 5/7 itself is pretty scary. I get to push 4, I still have 9 in play. Sure. It's like a really terrible Siphon Soul. Hopefully he doesn't have more egg activators. He only has like 5 more in his deck. How likely is it that he has one? But even if he has one, like double egg is not really that much better than 1 egg, unless he has Mossy Horror. And the Mossy Horror is powerful here, but it doesn't hit anything on my side of the board at least. I don't know. I just don't think I'm too likely to be punished for doing this. Does have the Mossy. Silver Vanguard is getting played here for sure. I'm 1 mana off of the Umbra Vanguard. That would be super good. What if I track or Power Word Shield? What would I be looking for that would be good? Second Voodoo Doll, any of my Devilsaur Eggs would be good. As long as I don't hit double 8-drop, this is fine. There's 1 8-drop. Voodoo Doll. So there's what, a 1 in 17 chance that Power Word Shield is bad here. So I'm gonna play Power Word Shield. No cube plays, I don't think.
No walls can hold me. You'll do nicely. Where's my
That's a big grizzly. Can't even kill it with my board. Anduin kills my 7/7, so it seems kinda bad. I can go for an Umbra cube play. So what happens? I play Umbra, cube this thing, I guess, because I don't want this filling up my board.
What is a loon?
And then, let's see, I'll have 3 minions in play, I immediately get 2 of these. At the end of the turn I get 2 more. My board's not quite full. No real reason to play the second cube though, I don't believe. Actually, I guess second cube can go on the 7/7. That makes sense. No, because it's gonna fuck up my first cube. I think. Yeah, I'm pretty sure not playing the second cube was correct here. Definitely powerful, but I feel like my board is still pretty good here. I'm definitely going to end the turn with an Experimenter in play. So if I wanted, I could go like Amara Cube. Could also bump in here and play Shadow Reaper Anduin. What is this likely to hit? High Main, King Crush, or a Witchwood Grizzly? But I feel like just making taunts is pretty good here.
You are safe now.
And I could kill his 2-4, but I don't give a shit about his 2-4, so I'm not going to. I think I'm in a pretty good spot here, but Rexxar can always find a poisonous bloat bat, and I don't really have game against that.
This beast will not be tamed.
He didn't actually make a poisonous bloat bat, did he? I mean, I could have held back on the cube to play around that, I guess.
You'll do nicely.
The light has betrayed.
Alright, I'm going to initiate the good old kill him to death plan. Don't give a shit what he pulls, I'm hitting him for 2. Because then next turn I can go Coffin Crasher him for 4 and Reckless Experimenter him for 4. Let's just hope he doesn't find any lifesteal. It's also pretty good for me that he hit the Grizzly. I don't care about the taunt. And it has 3 less attack than High Main. And, 5 less than King Crush?
This beast will not be tamed.
Alright. None of these idiots have lifesteal. He's showing 10, 12, 14, 18. So he's like not even close to lethal here. So I think I'm just going to banana his dudes so that he can't Vicious Scale Hide into anything. I could have even just gone Hero Power Pass and then I could have hit him for 6 next turn. But I might need 4 damage next turn for some reason. I guess maybe bananaing his dudes was a little bit risky, but I think as long as I just didn't put a minion in play here to get Vicious Scale Hided, I think that was the line. That guy has lifesteal but no rush. So yeah, I gave him 2 free damage, but he needed to find 14 more. That was pretty unlikely.
Tyrande versus Uther.
I will fight with honor.
Alone give me strength.
We have turned our curse into our strength.
Well met.
Blessings to you.
So this guy's even Paladin. Maybe he's Whizbang.
For duty.
Show me some odd cost cards. Consecration and Silver Sword could both be in his deck, but I think Consecration has to be way more likely. Is this a good enough consecration? It's definitely a super powerful card in the matchup. So I'm gonna say probably not. No reason to heal my 3-2 because it doesn't die to the 1-1 and still dies to the 3-2. Why is there a Chillblade champion in my opponent's deck? I think I can do better than this on the consecration. Go for the Coffin Crasher here. Hitting the cubes is not great, but it's still a 4-6. Hitting the Voodoo Doll is kind of a disaster.
How long can this go on? How long can this go on?
No walls can hold me.
I don't think I'm too worried about dying here, even though I am a little bit low. I think I can just go for the value plays that win in the long run.
Your magic shall not save
The big Spellbreaker.
Reporting for duty.
Punch first.
So if I consecrate, I can't get through to the Spellbreaker. If I just play Giggling Inventor, then kill this. Probably has to send the Spellbreaker into it, but if he has like Consecration, then I'm just gonna die. I could go Giggling Inventor Voodoo Doll to play around Consecration. Also just nice to get the Voodoo Doll out of my hand. I think I like this line. So he can set me to 1 here. And I most likely won't be able to play Amara next turn. Well, I can actually kill off my Coffin Crasher pretty easily. And then I have a lot of Deathrattles I can draw that are 4 or less mana. I guess it's actually somewhat likely I can play Amara here. I actually have 7 Deathrattles that fit the bill. And then I can even Power Word Shield into some cheaper ones. That seemed like a really odd place to do that. Well, that's Amara. I'd rather hit something else, but no shame in voodoo dolling my cube. If I'd hit the Shellraiser first, I would have had mana to play it, but whatever.
You are safe now.
Maybe I can cube my cube so this voodoo doll doesn't matter too much.
The victory is yours.
Nice. 5 mana, 8/8 taunt. Heal for 39. Pretty powerful card. I actually ended up doing surprisingly well with this deck. I was worried at first because I started out 1 and 5 with my first 2 versions. But then after adjusting it a bit, the version I showed in part 1 and then this version I'm showing right now ended up going 11 and 9. Now granted, I was kind of dumpster legend when I was playing that, so not exactly the most competitive opponents. But I did go 4 and 1 against Cube Hunter, which is pretty cool, I guess. So anyway, let's talk about what changed with this version. I was really unimpressed with the Blood Knight, so I cut both of those and then added a second Glimmer Root. I also ended up cutting a Giggling Inventor. Obviously a good card, but I'm looking to go for big plays with Reckless Experimenter and Carnivorous Cube and such. And the Giggling Inventor just doesn't fit that super well, but obviously, like I said, very powerful card. And I also ended up cutting a Mechanical Whelp. I just didn't think it was quite good enough. And I made those cuts so that I could make room for a Silver Vanguard, a Lich King, and a Violet Worm. Basically, I just wanted to up the curve of the deck a little bit. Violet Worm is obviously not the most impressive card in the world, but there's only one good 8-drop in the game, and the Violet Worm does have some synergies with like the Cloning Gallery and just Deathrattle stuff in general, so I felt like it was a decent addition. I'm still not thrilled with this Cursed Disciple, but I really just can't find a 4-drop that I like better. I mean, maybe you just don't play a 4-drop, or I guess you could play like Tortollan Forager. I kind of felt like I wanted something more aggressive than Tortollan Forager. But this deck does get pretty wrecked by aggro, so maybe another taunt in place of this guy could make some sense. Haven't tested this out, but I guess it's a consideration. And other than that change, I don't really think I can complain about any of the other choices. Everything seems to have its place. This Reckless Experimenter card is just absolutely nuts. I think I was getting kind of lucky drawing it more than average, and I usually had a good 3-drop to go along with it, but I do have 4 3-drops that synergize with it, so given that I find the Reckless Experimenter, it's not exactly unlikely I would find at least one of those.